I have walked, ran, trained, styled, and tested, all to find out what living with the $20 Yeezy Pods is actually like. And after wearing them for an entire week, I've realized there is one massive problem. So after my review, there was still a ton of questions about this pair of shoes, and even debates in the comment section of like what people would actually use these for. So after that review, I put these things on and have not taken them off for 8 days straight. And I gotta say, some things about this pair of shoes has definitely surprised me. So I want to go over some very clear negatives and also some positives about this pair of shoes. So why don't we kick this off with the positive? They're $20. I think this is by far the biggest pro. Every time I ran into an issue wearing this pair of shoes this week, I thought to myself, oh, it's $20, not $700 like some of the competitors to this. I mean, for the price of a Popeyes meal, you are literally getting a functional Yeezy shoe. In my original review, I went into depth about how this pair of shoes could change the sneaker industry. Not that the shoe itself is anything revolutionary, but what this pair of shoes represents. We've got one of the biggest entities in footwear right now trying to make clothing and sneakers completely accessible to everyone. Lowering the prices, there's no artificial scarcity driving up the price of these things on the secondary market. And most recently, Ye started selling Yeezy Gap clothing for just $20. There was hoodies, t-shirts, pants, all signaling the fact that he wants to continue bringing product for just $20. And who knows, we may actually see some old Yeezy Adidas products listed for $20 or some of the Yeezy Gap Balenciaga stuff. So yes, this is a pair of socks with 2 foam and rubber pads glued to the bottom, but it could just be the beginning of a lot more $20 products. At the end of the day, this is still a pair of shoes, so it's gotta be practical. I mean, there is hundreds of thousands of people that bought these things and will be receiving them in the next few weeks, so are these something that you can actually wear? While I was wearing these, I quickly discovered that the biggest pro, practically speaking, was walking and training. Time to slip into these and get to stepping. So this is 2 things I do every single day. I walk on a treadmill for 2 hours while I'm getting work done, and I go to the gym. And these are pretty great for walking because they have a lot of the same qualities as barefoot shoes, which is also something I went into depth on in my original review. And to summarize, I mentioned 3 out of 4 people have some kind of foot problem. And a lot of this is down to modern shoes being super constrictive and ultimately very, very cushioned. And this causes the muscles in your feet to not activate and work when you're walking around. And weak feet causes an alarming amount of issues like back pain, hip pain, joint stress, and the list goes on. So I literally walked for 2 hours every single day, and what I found was that my feet were working a lot more wearing them. All right, we're coming up on 2 hours, probably flip. Right now, they're feeling good. They're not slipping off or anything. They're not moving around. Much better than barefoot. It's a much wider toe box area, which is great for your feet. It allows your toes to spread out and work normally. And I could feel my feet kind of gripping onto the bottom, which is something that you kind of want because it activates a lot of the muscles in your foot. And when I wore these to the gym, I experienced something pretty similar. For the longest time, specifically when I'm doing big compound exercises like squatting, deadlifting, I always do it barefoot. It helps the muscle in my feet activate and my toes gripping the ground, and that essentially improves my form. And also wearing spongy shoes while performing a lot of these exercises can lead to bad form and then ultimately a lot of injuries. So honestly, I think anybody that goes to the gym might like these, at least practically speaking. And then lastly, for pros, they're very easy to take off. You just grab the back and pull them off, and they're also pretty damn comfortable. Your feet feel free because this sock material is incredibly stretchy, so it literally does give you a lot of movement. They're also lightweight, and these 2 little foam pads on the bottom are actually pretty cushioned for something that is so freaking thin. And even when I ran in these things, I felt completely fine. The pods are muddy and they're a little bit wet from underneath, but as far as running, not too bad. I thought they would hurt a lot more because we're running on concrete and there's not much cushioning, but I feel fine. No pain yet. Now, a side note, or I guess it's a pro, but they're super easy to clean. If you're someone who likes to use expensive cleaning products, well, you don't need any of that. All you need is some detergent. All right, so we got the dirty pods and we're just gonna throw them in the washing machine. That's it. So we're gonna treat them like a pair of socks. So pop them in here, some of this in. How well do the Yeezy Pods clean up? A couple hours later, let's see how well just a simple washing machine did. Damn! They're brand new. Damn, okay, well, just throw them in the washing machine. So the Yeezy Pod positives would be walking, training, price, and comfort. So let's talk about the negatives and the big problem with these. So I guess let's start with running. I did a couple different runs on a treadmill and then also outside. Basically, if you had to run, they're perfectly fine. But if you're gonna be running on a very regular basis, yeah, you don't want these. There's a reason why running shoes have such massive midsoles that have super soft cushioning on them. And some of that reason is to help with the impact of these big strides when you're running. Your entire body weight is hitting the ground with every single stride, and these do not give you enough cushion. Another small, slightly weird negative I found with these is that they would leave massive rings around your legs because they are so tight, specifically around the top. Basically, this sock material kind of rolls down and then creates a thicker, tighter part, which does leave a ring. So I don't know, if you have super buff calves, then maybe it's gonna constrict your legs a lot more than you would have thought. So this leaves the two biggest problems I have with the Yeezy Pod. First one, styling. What these feel like in comparison to other Yeezy sneakers that we've seen is that the design and cost savings of this pair of shoes took priority over the practicality and the looks of it. You know, I was wearing these around in public and I kept thinking to myself like, yeah, there's a decent amount of other sneakers that would make this outfit look way better. And that's because it literally does look like you're walking around in a pair of socks.
Came to show you my new shoes. God damn, would you come looking like Spider-Man?
On a scale of Yeezys, what do you think?
Pretty low.
Like if you saw me, what would you think? A little bit weird?
Yeah, still definitely a bit weird, but not the worst. Like it's just such a new thing that no one's doing. Hey, for $20 though, let's not forget. Yeah, I'd easily spend 20 bucks on those.
So design-wise, I feel like if Ye wasn't trying to make a $20 pair of shoes and was just trying to make a shoe in general, no matter the price, I feel like they would look pretty different. It was a little bit more of a case of let's make a $20 shoe rather than let's make a new cool shoe. Now, another factor of the styling is the height. Short kings are not gonna like these. So if you're wearing these and everybody else is wearing normal shoes, they've automatically got a couple more inches over you. So if you're already a shorter guy like me, I'm 5'8", you're gonna be looking even shorter than usual.
A couple months ago we were... You're looking kind of short, hey? Huh? Usually... Wait, let's see. Height check. And we're damn near the same height. Nah, what are you doing on your toes? I'm not on my toes.
When I'm wearing these, me and my younger brother are practically the same height. Styling these is definitely a little bit tougher than I initially anticipated, but I guess there is the argument, like a lot of other Yeezy sneakers in the past, where it's like we do not like them at first, everybody hates them, and then we grow to love them, and it becomes the next big thing. People hated Yeezy slides, Yeezy 700 wave runners, even Yeezy 350s, and now people love them, and they've become some of the most popular shoes on the planet. So I don't know, could these grow on us? Maybe. We'll probably have to wait and see. But by far the absolute biggest problem I had with the Yeezy socks is that they're literally unwearable 90% of the time. Where I live in the UK, it rains like all the time. Summer, winter, fall, like every single season it will rain. And what I found was any tiny puddle that any other sneaker would be perfectly fine with, these get completely soaked through to your feet.
Man, the middle of your shoe is gonna get soaked. That middle part, soaked.
Can you see the water?
Yeah.
Okay, it's sunk in. There's a little bit of water coming through the middle. You know, normal shoes have a solid midsole, so water can't get through, but these, they don't have that. So they've got two separate pods, and right in the middle, it's literally just the sock fabric and then the insole. So any water that gets here is coming straight into your foot. Not to mention, they're very, very thin. So any larger puddles, it's definitely just engulfing your feet in water. So yeah, pretty much the perfect place to wear these things is probably like LA, where it never rains. But overall, I gotta say, the Yeezy Pods Pods did actually surprise me. They did end up being a lot more comfortable than I thought they would be. They were actually even more protective than I thought they would be. I walked and ran over so many different types of terrain, whether it was gravel, concrete, sticks, mud, grass, and it all felt fine. Like, I was expecting to feel a lot of the different terrain poking through and hurting my feet, but I couldn't really feel any of it. So unless you're walking on a bed of nails, I don't think you're gonna have too much issue walking around in them. So overall, I think these are gonna be my go-to leg day and treadmill walking shoes. But other than that, I honestly feel like I would be opting for something else in most other situations. But I would love to know, if you did buy these things, what do you plan on wearing them for? Or if you're still on the fence, what do you think the best use case for the Yeezy Pods actually is? And if you want to know more about sizing and a lot more of the other details on these, check out the full review over there.